Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Malachi here with Brotherhood Outdoors. Today I have a video that I was asked to make by a subscriber of mine. His name is David. He just asked if I could show him how I sighted my Sniper 370 or my crossbow. It's pretty simple if you understand it. It may seem easy to others, but a lot of people, they just don't know. So I'm just gonna be here to help you guys out. Any of you who might need a little assistance. You're gonna have these little dials up on top of your scope. I'm sure you guys know that. One on top, and there's going to be one on the side here, right there. And clockwise, adjust it to the left on the side one, and counterclockwise will adjust your bolt to the right. For the top, counterclockwise will adjust it up, clockwise will adjust it down. Okay, so just know that when you go to sight it in, there's arrows pointing. It says this direction for up, this direction down, this direction left, this direction right. Sorry, pretty easy. So when you normally get these crossbows, what I like to do is they're usually close to being on target, but not quite. They're usually going to be not necessarily up or down or side to side. This just depends on the bow, who sent it to you. I mean, the company. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to be awful. I usually start off. I make sure I have a huge backstop here. It doesn't need to be a massive bunch of bales. You can use a small block target, but just make sure you stay within I usually do 10 yards. I do 10 steps out. I'll take a shot, see where it's hitting. If it's hitting up here, then I'll adjust it down until it's about an inch or two high at 10 yards. Then I'll go back to 20. I'll take one more shot, and then I'll see where it's hitting. With the CenterPoint specifically, with the Sniper 370, for some reason, the scope, I've got it figured out to where it works great for me, but it doesn't hit. It's not like a Horton or a 10-point that, if you sight it in on a dime at 20 yards, it's going to hit on a dime 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 for those markings that they have in the scope on the reticle. For these, don't know why, guess it's a cheap scope. It'll hit, if you sight it in dead on at 20, it'll be dead on at 20. It'll be basically on at 30, be a little bit low at 40, about 4 inches low at 50, about 8 inches low at 60. Now, I guess if you're trying to compensate for drop, you wouldn't, for like the drop of the deer, dropping your shot, you wouldn't have to do any compensating like when you're aiming out there at the actual animal, because the further the target gets, that's just the way the reticle lines up, as to where it hits that far down. I don't know why it does, but it just does. But anyway, so what I like to do when I sight in my crossbow, this particular crossbow, the Sniper 370, I try to get mine to hit about 2.5 inches high at 20 yards. And then it'll be about an inch high at 30 yards, and it'll be right on the money at 40. It'll be about an inch low at 50, 2 inches low at 60. So it basically is 2 inches high at 20, 2 inches low at 60, but anything in between is, for the most part, pretty much on. I mean, an inch up or down is not a big deal to me. I'm pretty confident in my ability to shoot with this piece of equipment, so it's not a big deal to me. But I will demonstrate in a couple shots how I adjust my scope, because I'm not entirely sure what the question, how the question came across. Is it how do you adjust in terms of how high you should have your bolt on target at certain distances or what? But all I can shoot is 20 yards in the barn right here, because we got a windy storm out there right now, and it's just really not ideal conditions. And in the forecast, it doesn't look like we're going to have ideal conditions for quite some time. I'm going to get to showing you how I adjust my scope, and then we'll take a couple shots. Okay, I'm going to take my first shot here at 20 yards just to see where my shot's at. Okay, so I messed with my scope so I could show you how I readjust. It's hitting about 4 inches high at 20 yards right now. Okay guys, so you guys just saw how I hit at 20 yards there. I hit about 4 inches high, which is not what I want. I want to hit 2 inches below that, which would be 2 inches high at 20. Okay, and that's how I prefer. You can do it however you want, but that's how I prefer to hit with my Sniper 370 because of the way the scope is with this cheap scope. It hits like 8 inches low at 60 yards. I already explained all that low. And so basically the further you go out, the lower and lower and lower and lower it hits. It's not properly adjusted in the reticle and in the adjustments to where it'll hit right on at all those distances once you adjust in at 20, which is how most high quality scopes are. But that's no big deal. We just got to work with it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down about 32 clicks, which would bring it down only 2 inches, because 1 click equals a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. We're not at 100 yards, we're about 1/4 of that distance. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to do about 4 times as many clicks. So for 1 inch at 20 yards on this particular scope, you're going to have to go about 16 clicks. Because 4 clicks would equal an inch at 100 yards, so we're going to do about 4 times as many because we're only at 1/4 of the distance. Got that? The closer you are, you're going to have to do more clicks on your scope. So I'm going to do 32 clicks. I already did 20 of them, so I'm just going to do 12 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops. 12. Went back one. So now that I got my 12 clicks on, I'm ready to go. And I should be about exactly 2 inches high at 20 yards. Okay, here we go. 20 yards after making my adjustments. I should be 2 inches high. So basically in between that white circle right in the center and my last shot. Just about perfect. Okay, now guys, there's another way that you can keep track of the number of clicks you're going to need, or for adjustment, whether you write it down on paper or use a smartphone or calculator, whatever you want to do. If you want to try to make sure your clicks are almost perfect so that you don't have to take so many shots and reloading their crossbow, because it's a little bit time consuming once you get into taking a handful of shots. Let's say you're hitting 6 inches high at 20 yards. If you're hitting 6 inches high at 20 yards, okay, 4 clicks is 1 inch at 100 yards. So you're going to have to do 16 clicks for every inch at 20 yards. So 16, okay, times 6 equals 96. If you were hitting 6 inches high, for an example, just for an example, if you're hitting 6 inches high at 20 yards with this crossbow, you'd have to adjust it 96 clicks to move it down, okay, to where it'd be right on. So just another quick little tip I thought I'd add in to the video for you guys. Okay guys, so I hope that helped you out. That's how I adjust my scope. I don't really know exactly what else to say. I thought it was pretty simple the way I explained it. So basically, with this particular scope in this particular crossbow, for whatever reason, it doesn't line up perfect. It's a cheap scope, so when you sight it in at 20, as you go out, it's just gonna drop it below the target, but below the target you're trying to hit. With the reticle, is just going to go down lower and lower and lower and more and more and more. And I know it is just this particular crossbow setup because I shot my uncle's Horton, and once you sight it at 20 with a high quality scope, it is dead nut center all the way out to 60, 70 yards. So, I mean, now when I say dead nut center all the way to 60, I'm saying like with the reticle, obviously there's a different hash or circle for 20, 30, 40, 50, and then for 60 you use the post, you use the top of the post. So yeah, hopefully that was good enough and suffice. Not entirely sure, again sorry, I'm not entirely sure what the question, what aspect of sighting in you meant, and I'm sorry about that. I was just kind of interpreting the text and hope that I was doing it the right way. So hopefully that makes sense. If it does, I'm glad. Hopefully it helps you out. And if it doesn't, please let me know. If I need to redo something, I'll try to redo something. If I need to explain it to you through comments, I can try doing that as well. But for now, always remember guys, Brotherhood Outdoors, once a sportsman, always a sportsman.